You're actually supposed to be receiving revelation in these areas and producing the results of them, the works. Faith without works. Oh, dead. That's right. Thank you, M. Russell Ballard. Travis Wingizel. So I've got some more time tonight, as it's Sunday and it's a special day. It's the day I stay up late. But I am realizing now that the news is over with, and now Thanksgiving holiday, there's going to be less people coming to my channel, less people watching videos, and so I am kind of concerned for you. I do these videos to warn you about the dangers that are coming, because being a born in the covenant, raised Mormon, I had to get questions answered that the prophets are not giving us, and some of the answers are hidden from us. And so I ended up becoming the foremost anthropologist of the ancient Middle East. And that covers everything, all sciences. In order to be a good anthropologist, you have to know it all. Literally, government, religion, culture, economy, etc., etc., etc. All the various sciences that are involved. And so with that knowledge, I can then go into any time period, any location on Earth, any culture, and do that same scientific research. And so I, as a born and raised Mormon in the covenant, I did it with my own church, Church of Latter-day Saints. Because I've come to find out that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is lying to us. And one of the things that they're lying to us about is church administration. And I have a commenter who does not understand this, because he's deceived, hypnotized by the prophets when they come out with distractions of disinformation, to think that there is no difference. And so on my video, Elder Jeffrey R. Holland, set apart on deathbed as acting 12 president, and Uchtdorf as acting president. Poor Uchtdorf. He gives a talk about being bearers of light. What thanks does he get? And so Stephen Anderson does not know Mormonism. He remembers the talk by President Hinckley. So do I. He says, I am tired of hearing Elder Uchtdorf being demoted. We are forgetting. We are? I didn't forget. I knew about this. I can explain more because you apparently did not remember the context in which he gave this talk. Given by President Hinckley. We don't move up in the church. We move around. Sure, that's what you call it. You stick with that, Hinckley. There is is it Three Trees? Is that what they call themselves? They're Mormon. They're faith promoting. This isn't an anti-Mormon site. These are faithful Mormons who do this site. They keep track of the apostles, and we should check, because they should have removed M. Russell Ballard. So it's a good thing I'm checking here. Thank you. What was it, Steven Anderson? Yep. So we gotta wait. The white screen of death. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. And it's buffering. And it's buffering. And it's buffering. And it's buffering. Because we just got through the news. Even told us it's rank. Once you make the apostles, it's by rank. The oldest ranked apostle, last apostle living, becomes the president of the church. And so thus the president of the Quorum of the 12. The same process. It's ranked. And so for what Hinckley said was a blatant distraction from the reality. Alright, age and rank of LDS apostles. Not resume browsing, as I learned on the other video. 3storystudio.com. Alrighty. Oh, you failed. Oh, sort of. Interesting. He's dotted. He's a ghost. That is funny, guys. Yep, they do have his death date. 8th October 1928 to 12th November 2023. 95 years, 2 months. Called 6th October 1985. Age at call, 57 years. Tenure, 38 years, 1 month. Profile on LDS.org. Guys, no. The church said that Jesus is angry with LDS, the name of Joseph's church. Alright. Did we get the snapshot? Yes, we did. Thank you, guys. So, yep. We'll use that as the thumbnail picture. And so, the talk in which Hinckley gave, many elders have been complaining that they're just an elder. And being a born in the covenant, raised Mormon, I know all about obtaining the priesthood and advancing in rank. When I never grew up in Utah. I only came to Utah when my parents dumped me off at Especially for Youth in August. Every year in August, I went to Especially for Youth. So fond memories, very cute little girls, my age, was in high school. The girls in high school now look a lot younger than I remember. What's up with that? But living outside of Utah, I was put into prominent positions. Never a leadership position, except in the Bronx branch on my New York mission. But other than that, I was put into a stake calling when I moved up to Canada with my new wife. And we didn't get temple sealed immediately. See, Nelson says if we were to pull the stunt that she pulled on me back then, yeah, we could have still gotten sealed in the temple on the date that we had scheduled, because Nelson changed it all. But she lied to a bishop, who was my uncle, Bert, of the family of Bert Brothers here in Utah. But he ran a different business up in Rexburg, Idaho. And when he asked me, I knew that my life was now destroyed, because I couldn't call her a liar, because I'd have to go down to my parents to live. So I was trapped. And so, yeah, I would have been smeared all over Rick's if I had somehow managed to convince my uncle that she lied and she's trying to frame me and blah, blah, blah. But nonetheless, here I am. Alone. And so, here I am, an evil Mormon, not sealed in the temple, and I'm instantly getting a stake calling. Now, it's a physical facilities rep, but still, it was a stake calling. And then I was also put into some other positions as well, and had access to the building and stuff like that. But it wasn't the Boy Scout leader position. Because despite the situation, I really was smart about Mormonism, as playing board game, the Mormon trivia, Book of Mormon trivia game with her family up there. I was the one who exposed an error in the game over who wrote the Book of Ether, or abridged it and put it in the Book of Mormon. Oops, they put Mormon. It's Moroni. And so that destroyed her family and mine with that simple correction. Mormons just don't like somebody who knows Mormonism. All these Mormon girls, they want to marry a faithful priesthood holder until they actually marry one. They don't want them to be faithful in the sense of knowledgeable about the church. It's just supposed to be a spoken thing, draw near to it with your lips, but your heart is far from it. If somebody would have just told me in the beginning. And so Hinckley is talking about the frustration of Utah Mormons, not about Mormons outside of the church. Because outside of the church, yeah, it's real easy to rise up to high positions of authority, to be a bishop, a stake president, even an Area 70. Real simple. All you have to do is attend church and pay your tithing. You're hired. But in Utah, because there are such a high concentration of Mormons, it is more difficult. And so, yes, we who live in Utah know all too well you have to be family or a friend of the family. in order to get into certain positions in the church. It has nothing to do with the Book of Mormon saying it's about righteousness. And so Hinckley pacifies us in that priesthood meeting that Stephen Anderson is referring to, as he had just previously called his son to be in the first quorum of 70. And so, yes, that's exactly what he was trying to do, trying to justify passing over many more qualified persons to make sure his son got put into the 70. Because we all know it's a rank thing. And it wasn't too many months ago when I redid the video for you guys about the ranking of the priesthood corresponding to the Scottish Rites Freemasonry that Brigham Young was a part of with his brothers. And then finally when Joseph got it, it was the Scottish Rites, but it's completely different from the Scottish Rites pre-9/11, 1826. In Canandaigua, New York, the founding of the Book of Mormon. And if you're not following me or my 3.2K videos, you're confused, aren't you? Yeah, there's information I know, and I'm telling you guys who watch me on a regular basis that nobody else is covering for you. Because they don't do the research. They just do book reports of people's journals and of forged documents. Like the one Mormon queer who abandoned her family and then decided to leave the church. She does videos now. And this was one of the videos she did was on the one I just uploaded for you about John C. Bennett claiming that Joseph Smith was a Danite, was ordering the murder of John C. Bennett. No, sweetie. No. Gotta do your research. You gotta know how to do your research. Don't just read from Wikipedia and think you know something and you're gonna share it with everybody and become popular. No, no, no. Because there's a lot more to that. And I only covered a brief part of that with John C. Bennett in another video. But yeah, this is why he made the changes he did after he took over the church with Joseph's dead body. Is that he was conforming it more to a Freemason structure, so that you had to work your way up in loyalty to the church to get moved up in rank. And so once you're even in the apostles, you're now there for life. You die, just like Ballard has died. And even though he was unfit to do anything, as he came out in conference and says, "I'm blind." The blind leading the blind, and now the dead blind leading the blind. Had another commenter make that identification. So I'm referring to it was another guy. He also did. Yeah, both two guys caught on to that. So I responded to the other one who said the blind leading the blind. The other one is having family proclamation troubles right now because of the truth of the church that has been kept hidden from Mormons, and which is a sad situation that the church is destroying families with family separation rather than the intention of the family proclamation to have a shared feeling to stay in the church. No, you gotta tell the truth in order to have that happen. Because once you get exposed for spreading your lies, you end up losing a whole bunch of members, like over 10 million. And it's got to be more than that. It's more like 13 million by now. And so, he doesn't understand that concept, is that it's not based on righteousness. It's based on loyalty. It's based on family ties. It's based on being a friend to somebody. And this is the collapsing of the system, is that people will lie, cheat, steal, murder, destroy other people's lives for advancement. Because with advancement comes rewards. Not just a better looking wife. I'm sorry. I used to go to the singles wards. Women told me this. It's not men's fault. We're the victims. Because yes, there are a number of Mormon women who pass up marriage, celestial sealing, to perfectly worthy men because they're waiting for the feeling of a man who will be a general authority and above. And the older you get, the lesser the rank. Oh my God. Which is sad, because it's not for love, apparently. That somehow they think if they marry a righteous general authority right off the bat, like Sister Oaks did, that it'll automatically be love. No, dear, you have to work at it. You have to actually love him and work on it. It takes time. Got to get to know him. Got to still like him after getting to know him. As long as he's not beating you or murdering you. But it's Mormon women that I'm hearing are murdering their husbands in the news here in Utah. It's scary. But that's the family proclamation for you. If your marriage fails, murder them. No, be nice. Love them. Don't take away their agency. Love them. So, I don't know if I should bring out the other. Well, no, we got the. Yeah. I don't need to find my other picture and bring it back. I retired. But because of Armageddon, I now have to walk you through it. And unfortunately, Mormons are getting more intense and violent with their hate comments. Because we're getting closer to the day when Mormons should have listened and they didn't. And then they're going to wonder, well, why didn't anybody tell us? I'm right here. I've been telling you. So, yeah. Alrighty. We're done. That's the way it is. It's rank. It's not by righteousness. Because we can bring the scripture if you want. Is there anybody who wants the scripture on this too? I think Alma 12 or 13? Nope. 13. This is beliefs, words, and thoughts. Bruce R. McConkie adds beliefs. You cannot find beliefs in the chapter, but it's understood that beliefs are a part of that. So Bruce R. McConkie did something right. Yeah. Chapter 13. And again, my brethren, I would cite your minds forward to the time when the Lord God gave these commandments unto his children. Obey or die! It's the love. And I would that you should remember that the Lord God ordained priests after his holy order, thus high priests, which was after the order of his Son. What's his name again? Not Jesus. To teach these things unto the people. And those priests were ordained after the order of his Son, in a manner that thereby the people might know in what manner to look forward to his Son for redemption. So being called a Melchizedek priesthood holder with the name of the Christ, take upon yourself the name of Christ now, because baptism, you are willing to take upon yourself the name of Christ, and then washed and anointed to become hereafter kings and queens, high priests and high priestesses. Melchizedek, Melchizedek, king, high priest. Amen. Which is acronym, sort of, in Paleo-Hebrew. Universal symbol of the sun. The M is for high priest, and the N is for king. Melchizedek, in the name Amen. Condensed as an acronym. And so yes, you then become a Christ and a Christa, because he's got to get married too. Because remember, he's not Jesus. And have those cute little babies. But that's the whole point of having the babies. That's the whole point of the sacrament, is that you gather, like the Latter-day Gathering, the keys of Moses, and you partake of the body and the blood of Osiris, who shed his blood for you, which was technically his brother Set who murdered him. And then his wife, Isis, the church, assembled the body back together again and conceived a child, which technically is Revelation chapter 12's sign, because he then goes on to talk about the woman fled into the wilderness. He's talking about that Egyptian story. This is the date of his coming, not his actual birth. But he also has to be born in order to start his ministry. But nonetheless, that's the Egyptian date that John puts there in Revelation chapter 12. The Egyptians knew the date too. But then Horus wins against his uncle when he comes back in the latter days, starting at the birth date of Revelation chapter 12 in Utah, Judah, and wins by demonstrating that he is the son of Set. Those tossed salads and scrambled eggs. Fraser. He's not talking about actually tossed salad and scrambled eggs, but that one commercial where the woman looks into her refrigerator and finds a little cup of eggs that you microwave, and they're scrambled. It's funnier than the one dishwashing commercial in which the elderly couple and the very attractive single woman and some other person or couple talk about how they do it every night. Commercials can be awesome. If only people could figure that out for YouTube commercials, since we're forced to watch them rather than go to the channel to watch them. But nonetheless. And so, yes, the partaking of the bread and the blood, or the body and the blood, is symbolic of being the church gathered in a congregation to give birth to the Christ, a human being. And so, yes, it's through a couple. And Isaiah gives us his name, Emmanuel, Amen, God Amen, Son God, at noonday, which is all over scriptures, even Joseph Smith. It's not Jesus. And so that's the ritual sacrament that's tied into this as well. And so, after this manner were they ordained, being called and prepared from the foundation of the world according to the foreknowledge of God, on account of their exceeding faith and good works. Faith without works is the way it currently is in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, isn't it? My associative memory is telling me there's something more to that passage in James. What was that? Faith without works is what? Faith without works is... I just can't remember. Gee, I wonder if some Mormon out there knows and could help me out with it, although they don't practice it, so I guess they don't know. Anyway, I guess we'll never know. In the first place, being left to choose good or evil. And so, yes, having exercised exceedingly great faith and having produced good works are called with a holy calling, prepared for the preparatory redemption for such. We need to go over that with you, don't we? It's going to be longer than I wanted, and it may be for tomorrow because I realize I've got 15 minutes left. So I could probably make the video, unless I can't stop talking. Section 107, verse 91. As we're previously told in verse 22, the whole Melchizedek priesthood are supposed to gather at the death of Joseph Smith and vote for 3 presidents to replace one Joseph Smith. Not one president and 2 counselors. Brigham Young didn't like the idea of having to share, so yeah, we got rank instead. And so there's the key of Moses, the president of Joseph's church. Brigham's church, what key is it? Oh, Peter. Okay. Just a missionary, huh? And the prophets are so sensitive about anybody talking about age or incapacity to lead. And they don't even have authority. It's only Peter. It's to preach, and that's it. But these are the good works that these candidates are supposed to have, for which the priesthood, the whole Melchizedek priesthood would vote for, as they follow the Book of Mormon, right? Brigham Young's rank system is not in Scripture. Can't find it. It's supposed to be there in order to do it. They're not doing it. And so, they have to exhibit the gifts of seer, revelator, translator, oopsie Nelson, and prophet in order to qualify for the vote. Which means the church needs to be doing a whole lot more about raising priesthood leaders to have these gifts, to teach it to them so that they can exercise it. We talk about exercising the priesthood. It's not about, monotonous chores, folding the chairs after stake conference. You're actually supposed to be receiving revelation in these areas and producing the results of them, the works. Faith without works. Oh, dead. That's right. Thank you, M. Russell Ballard. Minutes in, and very few people heard that. Oh my God. Oh, hilarious. Awesome. And so, yes, you see Abraham talk about at the beginning of Abraham wanting to become a high priest, to be a seer, a revelator, a translator, and a prophet, rather than dying without it. Priceless. I should probably cut this out and put it at the beginning. Or cut it out and then run the whole thing. Yeah, that's a good idea. We're going to have to remember to do it tomorrow, so I'm writing it down. Look at about 36. That was priceless. And so, yes, the president of the church, or presidents as it was supposed to be, but wasn't, and so now we have to wait for the fulfillment of the Christ, who is supposed to come on the date given to us by the Egyptians, which was recorded by John the Revelator in chapter 12, verses 1, 2, and 5. Why 5? Because of Joseph Smith's translation moves verse 5 to that verse 3, as well as the Book of Mormon. So the Book of Mormon starts off with that date. I wonder when that date is. I wonder, have I done a video on that date? Is it in my most popular video on YouTube that I did way back in July of 2017? Man, I'm having trouble with my memory tonight. But yeah, you can see these gifts in me. And I've had them for years. As Mormons have said, no, Travis, you can't have those gifts. No, I am supposed to have those gifts. It's so that Mormons, especially Melchizedek priesthood holders, can see that I have those gifts, and so that when a president of the church passes, I would be recommended because I have these gifts. But nope. Family and friends, as Ballard, as I found out, is related to Heber C. Kimball. In that previous video I did. So, yeah, it was Scott. I had learned in the Presidents of the Church class that I took at Rick's, in which he was the first apostle who was not connected by family blood. Bruce R. McConkie? Yeah. He married a Fielding Smith. Thus got in. But yeah, Ballard, they went back to the family grouping for that one. And so, yeah, don't be surprised that that's the case, because it is. Precious and few. Alrighty, so yeah, this will be for tomorrow, and we'll call it a night.